my aura
Good
gives me
evening.
resistance to damage from spells.
Welcome to Damage Does D&D. This is Sunday, I think, so it should be the Investigators. Is it? I'm pretty sure it is. DM Mark,
We should get some
help
people
me
to
out.
figure it out.
Let's investigate. So, last time, 2 weeks ago now, the party had finished up in the new town, the town now renamed Lascilith in Dragon Country of Greconoria, and had quickly moved back to, Camtasia eventually. Some couple of conversations were had, nothing too important, just some interesting stuff from your frenemy, Severil, about some potential shenanigans going on in the Mage Council, or the Mage
Elegant, really?
infrastructure, not just the council. But after that long conversation, several left, and I think you guys were about to head off for a rest.
Indeed. I'm going to go to my room to be reunited with my book.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember. I vaguely remember finishing by giving Kroll a hug and telling him, no, you're not that bad of a war criminal.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I think I imagined where my room would be next to Mazdak's and sleep just in a basic room, thinking of ideas of how I could make it my own.
Here we introduce our sponsor, Displate. No, wait.
This plate, that plate.
So is anyone?
I thought it was Squarespace. Don't you have to? Isn't it like? Are you legally obliged? Your
Yours
first sponsor
VPN.
must be Squarespace or VPN.
There's got to be a VPN one that's willing to sponsor us. They sponsor everything else.
This is true.
We might want better help instead.
Oh, is anybody not just going to bed?
I mean, that's a bit of a personal question.
Well, I at the end of last session, I tooled the new gem for the glove. I just want to make some final, do some final work on the setting, just to make sure that sort of, even on the move with the tools that I carry with me, that I'll be able to just sort of set it in place and make sure that I've got everything to complete that work, either tonight or within the next sort of day or so.
Okay. Yep, you can certainly make sure you're packing everything. I mean, certainly with your all-purpose tool, you've got all the tools that you need. It's just whether you can find the space to do it, to do the work. Okay. So everyone goes off to bed. You can mark off a long rest
Yay!
if you need it.
I feel like I made a note for a certain spell last week, and all I have is a note for next Tuesday.
That's just to remind everyone, because it has been 2 weeks, but as I understand, your plan was to head off to Galmaria and try and find a ship that'll take you across to Hanumo Island.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
So, yes, if anybody is preparing spells,
Yes, that's what I'm doing right now.
I have a quick DM question.
Sure.
The bubble of safety, the safety bubble spell. Did you get a chance to do that?
I have not.
Aha.
No.
Okay, I will just refer to it as the safety bubble spell. What
Yeah.
level? Is it just like first level, second level, third?
It's definitely going to be higher level than that. If it's, I was thinking more like 5th or 6th.
Right, I don't have those slots yet.
That's a point. Okay, don't worry about it for now. I forgot to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I
You
have.
can cast it. You can cast it once a day.
Okay.
even before I figure out whether you technically can cast it or not.
Okay.
I'm going to replace my light spell for a light spell.
Nice. That could be useful.
Especially if we go somewhere that's dark.
Hmm. Yes. Okay.
I feel like I changed it for the Long Rest.
Given we're going to try and seek audience with the Queen of the Aberrant,
Yeah.
I've picked up protection from evil and good.
Yeah, I was just looking at that, and I'm like,
Well, have a think. We can move the game on. I don't mind you doing it, you know,
I'm good
while
to go.
while we're traveling. Just don't get mid combat and then decide, oh wait, I wanted this one.
Oh wait, I want the immediately kill monster you've chosen. Well, I believe my sword still has a little bit of time on it.
Yes, I think there's 2 more days before you can collect.
I'll
so
get it later, it'll be fine.
we can get a teleport to where we're going, or we have to walk there.
Well,
You can get a teleport from the teleportation station. From Kantichi to Salayul, which is the capital of Galmaria.
yeah, then we've got to try and get a boat
Maria.
across to that island. Should be interesting. So, yes. So, when I get up in the morning, I'm going to bluff it out. Nothing happened yesterday to worry or concern anyone. It's all fine. Wizards are still the greatest people that ever lived. So, we should get going to Galmaria today, so we can get a ship across to the island.
What
It's probably-
kind of land is Galmaria?
Well,
Even if we are not spending much time there.
he says, looking at the map, there's no information. Shit. Have I read anything about Galmaria?
But
Possibly.
it's basic geography, really. It's kind of where the Tieflings live. That's their homeland.
Yes. So traditionally the home of the Tieflings. So shouldn't be a huge problem to get a boat across. I wouldn't have thought to the island of the Drow. Possibly we may have to pay somebody for passage, but this shouldn't be a problem.
There's no problem.
Question for the DM.
Mhm.
Because I've travelled all across the way, when I got to Voivikia or Balfasland, I'm assuming one of those places was where I would have got a boat from to get to the other continent.
From Balfast Land.
Would I have gone through Voivikia or Galmaria?
Very unlikely. Certainly not Voivikia. That's elf country. Closed borders.
Okay.
Whether or not you've been through Galmaria, up to you. I mean, if you're going from Belfast Land,
Probably would have been quicker to go to Vequilia.
yeah, maybe Vikilia or straight up to Kentucky.
Thaddeus would have been up pretty early, and would have gone back down to the living room, and if Amarius was not present, would wait for him around the area he disappeared.
Well, after 8 hours I appear, I think.
Yeah.
Probably, if I'm sleeping in the ring, I'll appear on the couch or whatever we've got in the living room.
Yeah, so as soon as he would appear, awake or not, I'd just be like, I need to do this quickly, and then non-detection on him again.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Okay. So we should get going then? Yes. Is everybody
Yes.
here? Is there anybody not here?
think everyone's here. Is Kral up from the basement?
He's been up for hours, making sure that he's putting some final touches to the gem for the and the setting.
Carl may not be sleeping much at the moment. So, once everyone is up and ready to go, you can head off to the teleportation hub.
Indeed.
You're well recognised there these days, so there's no question of showing you to the right portal. But as soon as you say, you'd probably know just to fill in probably something that this is an expensive service that people pay a lot of money for to be able to transport around. But you guys have just got carte blanche to come and go as you please.
I mean, we are trying to help save the world, so
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also sound like a DM warning of people are watching you. You're going to get mugged because someone thinks you're very rich.
I mean, it's possible.
I
A
pity
DM
the
would
fool
never
that tries to
forewarn
rob Sasha.
This is where Martin now gets the pen out. Very good suggestion.
Good
Gilly.
idea. Thank you, players. Damn it.
Again, I pity the fool that tries to rob Sasha.
I'm not saying they'll be successful, but they'll try.
That's not warding the DM away. That's encouraging them to try and find a solution.
Challenge accepted.
But how can I mug Sasha?
Chances are the people that might try would be the people that from the guild that she's part of.
There you go. Idea number 2, please. Take a ticket. We'll get to you. So, yeah.
Okay. So, you go and find or shown to the right portal. You'll indeed, and suddenly you're hit with heat that is more uncomfortable than you're used to. It's certainly warmer here than it would have been in Kantiji.
Well,
yeah.
this is
You're right.
interesting. I'm assuming there's somebody manning the portals.
Yeah.
I'll just step out and say, hello. My name's Mazdak. We're here on official council business, so obviously we need to. Could you tell me, is it possible to get a boat or passage somehow to? I cannot remember what the island's called.
Hanumo Island.
Hanumo Island at all?
So you're going to Hanumo Island?
Yes, it's important council business.
Okay.
And obviously, this is the nearest teleport hub, so.
Yes, that's true. You might struggle to find a captain who will take you there. They don't tend to go across the sea that way.
Right. Okay.
And if you head straight east from here, you'll find the dock.
We start looking.
Fabulous, thank you. You're very, very helpful. Thank you.
If you say they may not be willing to go from here, do you think that if we go from the other continent, then they may be more willing?
From Voivikia?
Well,
I mean, it's a long way from the captain. Sort of looks up at world map on wall. It's a long way from the teleport hub down that way through a lot of dangerous jungle. I think you're better off trying to go from here. But you just
The
maybe-
elves aren't exactly welcoming
But no,
to strangers.
it may
Especially
just
not for some of us.
well, yes.
any suggestions on who we might speak to who might be more willing?
Oh, I'm not sure. Just head down to the dock. There's always captains looking for work, mostly merchants, traders. But ask around. They might know someone crazy enough.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good luck. I hope to see you back soon.
Oh, we'll be back. Don't know how long it will take us, but we will definitely be back.
Okay.
Bye. I will start to make my way out of the teleport building into the streets at large. Celia, is it?
So I may as well let's pop that out so I can share that one.
It be map.
This be map. So yeah, that's Galmaria. You are in the big starred Pentagon Solayal. You can see kind of the general roads and trade routes on the map as well. So there is a route across the sea.
The names of the districts in the capital city are amazing.
You've seen it. So to show you that, we'll go capital. Hot dogs.
Nice. Hot dogs.
Hot dogs, Cotton Valley, Big Gate, Cheese Bowl.
I
That's
know
my favourite.
where you generated that.
Yeah, I wish I could take credit for these, but they are also generated.
Yeah.
Yes, I do like some of those though.
Hot cross dogs.
So the kind of the big H
Near the hot dogs.
near the hot dogs, near the H of the hot dogs, is where you've come into. So yeah, you can pretty much walk straight out, head east a couple of roads, and come down to the docks. The hot dogs.
That is what we shall do.
Okay, as you get down there, there's a typically nice ocean breeze, and the smell of the salt in the air is very nice. Certainly, I'm sure, Kroll, you feel quite comfortable in this sort of setting, though generally it's a little hotter than Belfast Land would have been. But yeah, you can make your way down to the docks. There's lots of people kicking about, shifting boxes around, people sat around playing some cards, or just generally stood by their ships.
Does it
Got
look like
a,
there's any particular? Sorry, go on, Ash.
No, go.
I say, does it look like there's any particular ship or boat what may be in the business for more dangerous excursion rather than just like trade and export?
Kind of feeds into what I was going to ask is whether there's a dock master or a wharf master.
Okay. Yes, there's certainly a dock master. Their office is on sort of southern side of the dock, so the side you'd have come into. So you can go and speak to the dock master. If you want to look around at the particular ships, you can make a perception check for me.
Perception checks.
What's your name? Thaddeus?
Yeah.
Thaddeus?
I'll grab Mazdak and Bernia and we'll head off to the dockmaster's office.
Okay.
Just wait for...
Can I be a bit weird?
Please.
No.
More so
Sorry.
than normal.
Let me rephrase that. I'm going to be a bit weird, which is not unusual for me, but there we go. I want to look out over the ship, see if there's any names that I recognise that might have had dealings with the brain. I don't remember my own fucking
Your
backstory.
guild people.
Yes. Shadow Singers. That have had dealings with the Shadow Singers who might be more inclined to be paid to do riskier things.
Okay. Stop there. That. Okay, you can make a perception check as well for me then, please. Fiddy, did you?
Yeah, 19 I got.
19. Okay.
8. Yeah, I don't see nothing.
Okay. No names that you recognise.
And 12.
Okay. What? Remind me, Fiddy, what specifically were you looking for?
If there were any ships or like boats which weren't like didn't look like they were trade export boats, but actually would be on like excursions.
Damaged looking boat.
Okay. There is, I mean, looking down the docks, there's only half a dozen ships in at the moment, and 19. The ones on the near side to you just look like pretty standard trade vessels, import export type things. There's one that possibly might catch your interest. It's got black painted wood on the far side. A black ship is not particularly common.
You see one called the Elusive Tide.
I'll
Heard there's a bunch of pirates on that.
yeah, I'll just
Good
point
half
that
ones though.
out. Good pirates. Yeah, I'll just point that out to agree.
No, I
with
just
you,
heard they were horny.
Not all of them.
that ship over there looks like it could be for excursions. Don't really see black ships about, do you?
I'll go over and talk to them.
Okay. Well, that's quite a way away, so we'll go to the dockmaster first because we've got 3 people going there. But Zabiel, if you're going to start walking that way, you can start walking.
Presuming Thaddeus is walking that way also.
Yeah, I'll walk with you.
Because, it's good to get more than one person in trouble at a time.
So Bernier, Kral, Mazdak heading to the dockmaster, Savio and Thaddeus heading towards the black ship, Emarius and Sasha. What are you two up to?
Well, black ship hit.
Black ship, okay.
Yeah, I'll probably stick quite close to Thaddeus just because I'm not quite sure how the spell works.
Fair enough. Okay, so the 3 of you get to the dockmaster's office. You knock on the door and walk in.
Yep.
And yes, old chap looks up with his
Right.
any excuse.
What day is it?
Oh, I'm very confused.
Don't make me put my dragon mask on.
Well,
Later.
Wait,
good morning to you.
morning.
Well, I'll cut right to it. You seem like you're going to be busy. We're looking for passage to Hanumo Island. Do you know of anybody in port that would be willing to take us?
Well, you're gonna struggle to find anyone that's gonna want to take you to Hanumo Island. You know what the seas are like around here.
Yeah, but we need to get there all the same. So if you had a best guess of what you've got in port at the moment, who would it be?
Your best bet's gonna want to speak to the Shackled Dawn.
Right.
Captain Sephiran is, let's say, quite the adventurer.
The shackled what?
Dawn.
Right. And is there anything else you've found something to know?
No, I don't think so. The Shackled Dawn, you say? Fantastic. My name's Mazdak, by the way. How do you do? Here on official Mage Council business, so that's... thank you very much for your help. It will be noted that the Dockmaster of Saliel is possibly one of the most helpful people in the world.
Okay, you can leave now.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
I'm just going to shepherd Mazdak out.
Krarl will sort of let them two leave, and then he'll literally just sort of he won't even look back. He'll just put sort of 5 gold on the counter and walk out.
Fair enough. He probably should have mentioned that the Shackleton is a black ship.
Whoa!
Who would have seen
How
that?
surprising!
Mind blown.
It's seeing through the eyes of the DM. You just
Wow.
What a
Crazy.
winky dink, eh? What a winky dink.
See, that's really surprising to me. I thought it was going to be a green ship.
yeah.
Well, ships are normally brown, aren't they?
Most of the ones that you see are indeed just naturally wood or.
I thought it would be an inflatable rubber dinghy.
I
Could
mean,
be.
Yeah,
That seems the safest way to cross a dangerous ocean.
absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So the 4 of you that are already heading that way, as you
Ooh, green
get-
screen.
oh,
Naturally, it's become a green ship. No, there we are.
Went into camo mode.
yes. So the 4 of you that are already heading towards the black ship, as you begin to approach the jetty, there you can see there's a few people milling around, not doing too much.
What near the black ship?
Yeah.
Any of the ones just milling around look captain-esque, or do they just look like crewmate?
They just look like crew, these ones.
I'm just going to step to the end of Jeffy straight off and ahoy ship.
Going straight onto the ship.
Oh, no, I know the rules. I'm stepping to the end of the journey. I am well aware that I'm stepping onto a ship without permission is asking me to throw off.
And not back onto land
Yeah.
in heavy armor.
Yeah, I mean, Salviel is incredibly annoying, but she's not trying to fuck up the entire mission.
Yeah, I'll basically be next to Salviel and be like, ahoy, may I speak with the captain, please?
Yeah. What's this about?
We
Looking to
Well,
hire
yes.
for probably a short voyage, but we can pay well for it.
That's what the captain will want to hear. So I'll just be a sec. And she runs up the plank, and before long, captain wanders down. Sorry, that
Get
was
the most out of that hat you can.
that was me hip flask falling over. You need that at hand.
Of course. Well, on your hip at least.
And yes, so at the top there's just Clonk as the captain steps up onto the plank to engage with you. I knew there was something there. And you see just this classically grizzled sea veteran, long beard, facial scar, just sort of arm on, like one leg up on the side of the ship with an elbow leaning on it, just sort of looking down. You're looking for passage, I hear.
Yes, if possible. We've got a few friends just behind us, but yes, 7 of us in total, if possible.
Where to?
Now, this is the tricky part. Hinumo?
You want to go to Hanumo Island?
Yes, if possible.
He steps up onto the side of the ship and then begins to walk down. It's not every day I get asked to make that voyage.
I'm assuming at this, me and Salvia will like close ranks and be like bodyguarding Thaddeus, one on each side.
Sure.
No, that implies he's the one talking.
He
Which
is
I'll be
the
able
one
to
talking.
do. Sorry, I mean the one in charge.
We don't have somebody in charge, do we?
No.
Mustang does most of the talking, but I wouldn't say he's the one in charge.
Oh no, Bernier's in charge.
I can do it, but it's going to cost you. Not a cheap run. Very dangerous waters.
Yes, was expecting that. How much would it be then?
You want to go one way or both?
Well, we'd need a way to get off the island, but until my compatriots get here, I'm not entirely sure how long we're going to be on there.
Well, I mean...
I don't think even we know at the moment.
Okay, I kind of need to know that in order to give you a reasonable quote. Because you're sort of paying for the time. I need to know if I'm waiting. Am I sending you off, waiting a week, and then waiting for you to get back before sailing? Because that's going to be expensive.
Yes, definitely. I'll just take a quick look behind me. Can I see the others?
Yeah, you can see them at this point.
Well, the rest of them are nearly here now, so we can have a conversation if that's possible, and we can talk prices and time.
Hey.
So yeah, Mastat's sort of looking at every ship to see the name of each one.
Just as before they get there, I'll be like, sorry, Thaddeus. Your name is Captain?
Captain Sephiroth.
Sephiroth. Very nice to meet you.
If you wonk that right there, Sephiroth or Captain Sephiroth of Shackled Dawn.
Is it Tiefling?
He is a tiefling, yes.
Oh, so close. I was only one letter out.
Oh.
Which letter?
The I had it as an E.
Same.
There's no I in Shackled Dawn.
Yeah, that was weird. That.
Oh,
I must have just wrote it down wrong.
Yeah, no, just seeing them, like Mazdak looking at every boat, I'll be like, Mazdak, Bernier, over here.
Oh, it seems that our companions have found the correct ship.
Hi, you must be the Captain Sephiroth that we were told to come and see.
Right. So, you lot want to go to Hanumo Island?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So, this is something I can do. Most captains won't. The waters get very dangerous out there. There are some very large creatures in the open ocean. Most of the trades do, we end up traveling as close to the shore as possible until we get up to sort of Vakilia, and then we can cut across the Balfast land. That's kind of the general route that we take. To go into open waters this far south is asking for trouble. So,
how much one way, and then we've got somebody that, if we need pickup, we got somebody that can contact you if we need that.
okay, so go and drop you off, and then I'm free to leave.
Yeah.
Okay, I can make that with my law. That'll set you back 500 gold.
I cast suggestion, and I want to suggest that he does it for 200 gold.
Wouldn't that take a single word thing?
No, it can suggest a call for action. Limit it to a sentence or two.
Yeah, it's command. That's a single word.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's a wisdom save.
The fancy dice.
You've got dice to hand.
It's at times like these where I'm really pissed off that I didn't get Dispel Magic again.
I was just looking to see if I had counterspell.
Fast light! No, wait, hang on.
You get the most out of that spell section. Just keep casting.
Yeah, I'm going to be a disco ball.
One light at a time. Okay. It's the wisdom save.
Yep.
Ooh. 21.
Succeeds.
Does that mean he knows you
I'm
tried?
just checking. I don't think so for this one. No.
That's fine.
If it just hears what Imaria suggests.
Yeah. So you sort of retort with oh, how about we make it 200? And he just looks at you for a second with, like, squinty eyebrows.
I'll just raise my eyebrows.
Here. And I'm just going to pay the 500 gold.
Thank you.
Then, assuming, Captain, that it would be the same for the pickup when we need it, yes?
If you can get word to me that I should come and get you, then yes, it will cost the same.
Marvelous.
Can do that.
I'm tempted to use my other spell slot, but I won't.
So, hello, Captain. My name's Mazdak. Pleased to meet you. Have a quick question before we embark on your rather wonderful-looking ship. Why is your ship black and all the others aren't?
Well, why not? I did a bit of pirating in my time.
Right.
Certainly
Okay.
makes it
I
stand
acquired this ship through less than legal means of some less than legal people,
I see.
and I kept it. But I only really deal in legal things these days.
Glad to hear it.
It's okay. We won't answer any questions. Well,
Why
Mazdak
not?
will, but
When are you due to set sail?
Well, if we're making the trip that we're making, I might need a few hours to get some extra supplies, maybe hire a few new hands.
Certainly. So,
Is
what do
that-
you recommend doing in port while we wait?
Go get some breakfast. You can get there's a little cafe just there. Points to a little shop with a little red awning. Wonderful kedgeree.
Okay.
So if we come back at, say, just after midday, you should be ready to go.
Come back for midday. We'll set sail.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, Captain.
And he just sort of tosses the bag that Bernier handed over of the gold. Just
Slips
turn
out his
around.
hand, goes straight in the drink now.
Winds disappeared before they touched the water. Wait, wrong kind
He
of
immediately calls for Anchor to be.
And set sail into the distance with the money. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
You've got a few hours.
Sweet. Step away. I have never been on a ship before.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
I saved up and paid for teleportation to Kantishi, and Valaya has no cost.
Well, I was on a ship when I was very young. When we came to Kantisha. But apart from that, well, there was that time in the docks where we were on that ship, when we were chasing several down.
That was true, but
I don't think that
was
counts though, because it
important.
didn't go anywhere, did it?
It was important.
I've sailed on a few ships in my time.
I see.
I
Any
only
of them
have
black?
concern that
Not black, but there have been some eccentric captains, shall we say. It takes
Right. Okay.
a sort of specific personality to be constantly on the sea, I think.
Interesting.
Very seen.
You end up usually being drunk, horny, crazy, or all of the above.
Right. Is it? Is this compulsory when travelling on a ship, or? 'Cause I'm not.
No,
I
it's
don't,
just
I don't
those
drink.
that tend to frequent sailing on board ships.
Right, because I don't want to do any of those 3 things that you mentioned.
Nobody's going to force you, Master.
Certainly not.
So, Bartlett just hung back while the rest of you walked away to ask something. We might as well talk it. Ash.
Yeah. If you don't mind, Captain, have you heard any tale of Belfast Land or what occurred at Kierstad?
Oh, yeah. Guess Dad just kind of disappeared. Not sure why. Did a lot of trade there. It's quite concerning. But there's a lot of strange things happening these days.
Yeah, well, I'm asking around because I got family who are from that way.
Yeah, well,
But it's people I haven't seen since I was a child. I was washed away in a storm when I was a kid. Ended up in Cantisha, been there ever since.
right. Well, I can't tell you too much. I don't know really what happened. But, yeah, it's done messed up the trade to Belfast Land.
Right. So the town's just not there anymore?
Gone. Like there's it doesn't seem like the land was affected. It's just the buildings are gone.
So the land itself is untouched. It's just there's nothing there.
Yeah,
Damn.
and the people went with the buildings. From what I
That's what I was afraid of. Well, hopefully we can find out what happened and maybe bring them back, but what I have to say, well, thanks anyway.
Just while you're there, Kral, make a quick perception check for me, please.
Oh, that's actually not too bad. 24.
There's something on the deck of the ship that really catches your eye. Big piece of machinery. This is something you helped to design for the Cantetian Navy.
What in all the world? Where did you get that?
the arcane cannon. I bought it from a port somewhere.
I helped design and build those things.
Well, it's very good. You did a good job.
Which port was selling them?
I wish I could fire a bit quicker, though.
Well, while we're on board, it should take a few days to get there, I'd assume. I might be able to have a team
Negotiate a
for you.
discount.
Maybe you'll give us a discount on the way back. How about that?
If you can fix it up, I'm happy to agree that.
Oh, there's no doubt about me being able to fix it up. It's just whether I've got the time to finish it. When you say you bought it from a port, which one did you buy it for? Because we only built these for the Cantetian Navy.
Yeah, well, occasionally Cantetian ships sink.
Well, yeah.
And people salvage what there is to salvage. This was bought up, and I bought it.
Well, it was going to happen sooner or later.
By the way, Sasha heard Kedgery and Cafe and went.
Yeah, all the rest of us have all gone that way.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I've got a lot to be getting on with, if that's okay.
yeah. I'll dig through my notes and I'll see what I can find about improving the. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your time anyway.
That's okay.
See you in a couple of hours. He just turns and walks off. So, yeah, the rest of you can go and get some breakfast.
Yeah, I'll get some breakfast, and whilst we're just waiting there, I'd like to just try and read a bit more of my book, if I may.
Right, you've got a good 2 hours reading that you can get done. So for you, Sasha.
Yes, that was what I was going to be asking next.
Okay, cool.
Kedgeree in one hand, book in the other.
Nasdaq is very happy. It's a study group.
Yeah.
2 hours, you say, yes?
Yes.
Whilst I'm reading it, you'll probably, and anyone else who's sitting down and takes note, just under his breath, Thaddeus will just be sort of like repronouncing words with how, trying to get the sound and dialect right.
I like to all the places we go have food with a lot of fish in it.
Well, we end up either near coasts or places where there's a lot of fish. People eat what they've got.
It's a shame we could not stay for that Nosora. It would have tasted the food.
Yeah. I'm going to use the 2 hours to work on the gloves and sort of just be in the back of my mind tinkering with what could possibly be wrong with that cannon, because those cannons were perfect.
Maybe some setup is sinking.
Possibly.
I mean, yeah, it kind of got sunk and fished up and travelled around. It's probably just deteriorated a bit. You can give it a tune up.
An arcane cannon with personality. Now
All it needs
that's
is
an
a bit of
idea.
WD-40.
Yeah,
Yeah, WD-40.
that'll fix it. That fixes everything.
Yeah. In fact, they've improved it. It's WD-41 these days.
Oof. Oh, I like the classics.
XE80.
It's WD-45 in my time. I'll say to Thaddeus, is there any chance you could do that in your head? If he's just randomly like repeating like the cat is on the mat and all this in giant whatever.
Well, I
Oh, hello. It's one of those days, is it?
yeah, one of those days.
Yeah, it's...
You had time to put a hat on.
I was speaking, and all
Same
of a
as I
sudden
reaching for one.
I was like, I'm pretty sure Dan would be paying attention to this. He just kind of looked as if he was like, well, I could have Marius, but then I don't think I'd quite get the dialect right if I'm not using my mouth to try and speak giant.
I don't believe I'm ever going to say this again, but look at Nasdaq. Look how quiet he is.
Oh,
Is that
Mazdak
the
is not
only
being
time?
quiet.
Oh, okay.
No, Mazdak is mumbling spell incantations and trying to get the inflections of counterspell just right in his brain, because he's not used that before, so he's just looking through it just to see if he can get it to the syllables in the right order. And
I can help you if you like.
I'm sneaking bits of the fish of the Kedgeree to Meglina.
Bears like fish.
Yeah, make it nice and quiet for you.
Not usually smoked haddock though, but
actually, no, I'm not. It's not a verbal spell, counterspell. It's somatic only, so I'm just sort of. So yes, I am being quiet. Sorry, Dan.
Well, unlike you, Greater Marius, we obviously have to learn some of our magic. It is given to us, but we still have to learn how to perform it, and speaking is just one of them as well. So
Sounds incredibly tiresome.
it's actually quite invigorating. Gets the brain going, keeps it alive, and faster in everything you need to do.
Well,
Right.
looking up from her book, Sasha just goes, if you don't like it, Marius, go away.
I'll just use a cantrip and cast like thaumaturgy for like some white noise just to, you know,
I mean,
block out all the mumbling.
I can help, but
Help?
yes. and I'm going to cast Vortex Warp on him and teleport him 90 feet away from us.
It works.
So obviously it's usually a Constitution saving throw, but obviously if I said I was going to help you, do you allow me to do it and fail it automatically, or do you want to do the con save?
Well, I suppose I've allowed you, and I.
And you'll just see sort of like just Kral's hand in the air, and you'll just see sort of like this warp of energy go around Amarius, and then he appears 90 feet away. Then the dock.
Sasha will probably look up, snort with laughter, and then go back to a book.
And the spell that Thaddeus has cast on me that doesn't negate any of that. It's just a finding spell, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He knew how to find you. You were right in front of him.
Well, that's an interesting spell. I like that. That's so you can teleport anyone that amount of distance,
Well,
or
it's
is it
a-
just? Could you do groups?
It's one person,
One
and
person. Oh,
it depends. I mean, if I was to use it on one of you and you allowed me to do it, that would work fine. But if I was to try and do it to, say, another creature that was hostile to us, they may resist it.
right. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Right. Good.
Useful for getting me further into combat or
against
bringing things
somebody.
to me.
Well, I was thinking it'd be useful for getting me out of combat,
Well,
but I have a
I was
number of
thinking
tools
more-
that I can do with that. So, yeah. But yes, very interesting spell. I like the it's very good.
So you spend a few hours just sitting in a cafe, nibbling some food, having some
I
drink.
do have one thing. My chainmail.
Your vine mate.
It's my Vine mail. Well, Vine died many years ago now. My Vine mail. Is it particularly heavy?
No, not really. Certainly not as heavy as chainmail would be.
Okay, cool. I just thought I'd check because I don't really want to be on a ship and knocked off into the water.
Yeah, yeah. It would. It's chain medium armor.
It's heavy.
Is it?
Heavy armor.
I want the wrong.
£55 by D&D Beyond's reckoning.
Because I'd say it's one step up from that, or one step lighter. So if it's considered heavy, it's medium armor for you.
Yeah, I've got scale mail and it's £45 for medium.
Scale mail's on the upper end of the medium. Okay, cool. So I don't have to worry too much about falling in the water. To be honest, I probably have more things to worry about in the water than my armor.
It'll be
Yeah, just your arm.
armor.
It would be interesting trying to swim with this. We will see.
Oh, I wouldn't worry. Something will eat you far sooner than you'd drown.
Probably. I am a little out of practice.
Maybe Kral can install a flotation device that comes out of it in emergencies.
Possibly Kral is the flotation device.
Well,
It's
I
true.
did.
That sounded a bit rude.
Well, I did get washed away on a piece of driftwood when I was a child from the coast of Belfast Land, and I ended up in Camtasia, so I can float. Maybe problematic at times, depending on what I'm wearing or how much I'm carrying, but I can float.
It is interesting.
Krog has become the driftwood.
A decent enough swimmer. If the need requires.
sure I make any more progress with the gloves in the 2 hours.
Okay. Make me a tool check. It probably doesn't matter what tools because I think you're proficient with whatever you set your multi-tool.
Well,
to.
yeah, it just gives me the proficiency, so it's a
Carla's
12,
just proficient.
12 on the dice. So I guess.
I wasn't there in time.
Dex
Few
plus
flexion hats
proficiency.
though.
Sorry, what was the total, Kral?
Okay, so he's at Dex plus proficiency, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to use a charge on my Flash of Genius as well. So that gives me 23 total.
Okay. Cool. Right. Oh, it'll be frozen. There we go. Oh, this is
going to be painful, isn't it, today?
Yeah, so previously you had crafted the gem into the right shape to match the other one.
Yeah.
And just with a couple of hours being able to tinker it. Do you mind? Yeah, with an extra couple of hours, you can set about getting the gauntlet down and getting that gem into the right place. And you've fixed it in. It isn't quite like connected, hooked up to the arcane lines of it, but it's in place.
Cool. So in the last few minutes, obviously, once I've got that set in place, I will I've already have the gloves. Basically, I will have them on because it's easier to put it in place while I was wearing them.
Yeah.
And then as I'm coming to the end of doing that, I would ignite a firebolt in one hand and try and do the same in the other and match it and just see what happens.
Well, nothing happens yet because although the gem's in place, it's not hooked up. It's
Okay.
not wired in.
Yeah. Cool.
So there's still like one more stage to go to fix it.
Roger. I understand. But I've got them on at the moment because it's easy to work with them.
I can certainly see for roleplay reasons you putting them both on, like sort of readying a firebolt, just so you can start to figure out how you need to arcade fire in.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of get up to your stuff. Time passes. Midday comes. And you can all head off to the Speckled Dawn to begin your journey.
Yep, we'll do so. Before going, I'll just check that Amaris is back with us.
Yeah. When I'd see you leave, I suppose.
Yeah, I kind of picture the cafe is there's a road that runs between the dock and the cafe, and Amaris was just sort of sent closer towards the dock.
Yeah. Well, Amaris would have a small mechanical turtle basically poke him.
Right.
Just go and just point him.
Yes,
And then
I
sort
can
of
see.
fly off.
Yeah, I'll just walk up to them. I won't say anything, but I'll just join in.
Okay, so you go and get aboard the ship. The captain's there. Welcome. Welcome. So I think we've got all the supplies. I have had a couple of new hands, just sort of points at a couple of younger tieflings. So we should have all the hands we need. There is, just down below, there's a storage room in the bow of the ship. That is yours. There's a few blankets and pillows in there. We don't really do people transport that much, so you'll just have to make do, I'm afraid. But the 7 of you should be able to get by okay down there.
Can't speak for anybody else, but I've slept worse.
Yeah.
He's looks at you and goes, I can believe that. Any food or drink? There is a small galley just opposite your little storage room. Feel free to help yourselves. I've made sure we've got enough supplies for 10 more people, so that should cover it. And let's get going.
Are we all staying here, or is there like a better room?
There are no other rooms.
Thank you. This will suffice us.
No, well, not necessarily.
Marius,
Don't like it. There's the dock.
You can feel free to stay on shore if this is not up to your standards.
and I'm going to say this because shenanigans do sometimes happen. Please, for the love of all that is holy, no fire in the lower decks.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Captain, may I stay on deck, at least for now?
You are free to come up on deck at any point. In fact, one of the reasons I agreed to take you, lad, is that you look like you can fight if you had to.
Well, we can, if you'd be so kind as to show me to your delightful piece of machinery, I will start my business.
Yeah. So, I'll take you up there now. Feel free to wander the ship. Just don't get in anyone's way. Anyone that's working. If you do that, we'll have a problem.
Of course.
Of course not.
I nearly went into Klein's accent there because we're back on a ship.
Oh, you know, it's so easy just to slip right into.
Righto.
Righto.
That's what people say about quarantine.
Whee!
Off I go then.
So easy to slip
I
into.
can't even escape it in this campaign.
We're on a ship. I'm so sorry. Sorry, Jane. I've stepped right onto your toes here.
I'm on boat.
I'm talking more about the innuendo.
Well, yeah. That comes.
Horrendo.
So the captain sort of wanders off with Kral. The rest of you are free to come and go as you please. It's not long at all before you hear the sounds of a chain rising through the vibrations of the ship, and the ship just sort of gives one initial lurch as it begins to head off to sea.
Yeah, I'm going to find a place up on deck where I'm not in the way, but I can sit and read my book and keep an eye out for any danger.
Right you are.
I'm going to watch Kral tinkering with this arcane cannon, because I've heard the word arcane and I'm like,
I'm just going to try out all the hammocks or whatever, just to find the best one out of the bad bunch.
It does make me laugh that you're so concerned about the state of the room that you're going to be sleeping in.
When you're going to disappear into
You're
your
not even
room.
going to sleep in there.
Yeah, it's the point of it though, isn't it?
it's the principle.
He needs to
isn't
find
it?
somewhere nice to leave his invisible ring.
Kral, you are taken to the arcane cannon. It is sort of pride of place up front on deck. And just give me a quick investigation check.
Okay.
Not a very high DC for
Um,
reasons.
probably a good idea anyway. So 16 total.
16. It's just natural wear and tear. It's been through a lot. It has sunk and been.
Yeah, the way I envision it is there's sort of like bits of like plank
in the cogs.
in the cogs, and then like the runes that are carved onto the actual sort of onto the barrel of the cannon. They're sort of like got stuck in them, so they're actually sort of obscured from their meaning. So his rate of fire problem's got everything to do with the fact that it's not being properly maintained and everything, instead of there actually being something wrong with the thing. because,
Yeah.
like I said, these things are perfect.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with the magic or the mechanisms or anything. It's just normal wear and tear stuff.
Okay, so sort of initially, Kroll's going to basically use prestidigitation because I can do that now. And he's basically just going to clean the cannon down with the magic, remove all the seaweed, and then he's going to go along with like a file and a little sort of bore tool and make sure he's going to carve back through the anything out that's in the runes.
Yeah.
Mazdak will assist with the magical runes part because it's magical runes, so therefore.
Yeah.
And Mazdak, if I told you that I had a hand in designing and building these things, would you believe me?
Absolutely, I think you said before that you had designed arcane cannon and the like for the Cantetian Navy. This is interesting. Why is it on this ship? Because I don't think this is a Cantetian Navy ship.
Well, I asked the captain the same question, and he told me that inevitably ships sink, and people salvage what has been sunk.
Oh, I see.
And he
Right.
brought this at a port. Wasn't a little bit non-specific with which one, but
Well, yes, I understand. But some people like to keep their business dealings on the lowdown, as it were.
yeah, well,
Ports are generally
have-
famous for that sort of thing, aren't they?
yeah, well, I have my reservations about these falling into the hands, but I suppose it was inevitable, really. No ship's, and no matter how good its crew is, no ship's invincible.
Indeed.
But this is as fine an example of my old master, his genius.
I mean, they're certainly intricate. The way that the runes interlink on this side certainly look as if it's. I mean, this is for expelling, which is quite interesting, and you've got some protection as well. So I imagine it's quite hardy. This doesn't get damaged too easily.
Well, we had to reinforce and use a different mix of metals and a new alloy to make sure that these things worked. But this was a collective effort from most of the people that were members of the guild. My old master, he didn't want to hoard the wealth to himself. He wanted to share that with everybody. So we kept the central secret to ourselves.
So I was just filming it just in case it was, you know.
Yeah. So we kept
Good
the main
balancing.
secret to our.
Yeah, there's still drink in there still.
Yeah, we kept the main secret on how to actually make them work to ourselves, but everybody else contributed to the building of them, so everybody shared in the profit,
Ah,
apart from one person.
well, that would make sense, yes.
But it was we built community, and it was painful to let all that go when the disaster happened.
Right.
And then Kroll will just go a little bit quiet, feeling like he said a little bit too much, but it's only to Mazdak, so.
Yeah, I mean, Mazdak's more interested in the magical workings of the cannon
Yeah.
than the social
Yeah.
part.
And just sort of carry on, sort of make sure that there's nothing stuck on the inner lip of the barrel.
Yeah.
And then just finish up, and then give the captain a rundown of what he needed to do to make sure that it's maintained. Otherwise, he's liable to blow his own ship up rather than.
Yeah, he calls over someone else. He listens intently to you as you were talking, but he called someone else over, the bosun or whoever, to kind of take note of what you were saying about keeping it functioning properly. Well, Crawl, I appreciate you giving it a little fix up. We'll, if you need the return journey, we'll take a little bit off for you.
Well, that's appreciated. But look after her, you see, and make sure that I know that not everything you do may be entirely on the up and up, but at least try. These were made to protect people, not to cause harm.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Crawl, who's the leader of you guys?
Well,
Is it you?
I wouldn't say it's me.
No, well,
I
we don't
do-
really have one, do we? I mean, it depends on what we're
If you
doing at
need-
the time, isn't it?
Bernier's probably the best person to talk to if you want to talk to somebody who's leading us. Me and Mazdak,
That would work.
we are probably the brains.
Oh, absolutely.
I can
The
see
rest-
that. Bernier's the one with the...
With the arm, yeah. She's
Yes, I would say she's
ex-military.
probably
Yeah.
best placed to be a leader as such. Well, we don't really have one. It, as I say, it depends on what we're doing. If we're doing magical things, then myself and Carl will generally be relied upon to pave the way, so to speak to other wizards and tinkerers and arcanists of all kinds. We have, obviously, Sasha, who's very good at smashing things, which is nice. And, of course...
helpful people to be friends with those.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And, of course, Salviel, who's kind of halfway between Bernier and Sasha as a sort of another smashy type.
Right. Circling back to your point, the closest thing we probably got to a out-and-out leader is probably Bernier.
Okay. I'll go have a word with her.
Yeah. So, but I'll let you know when we're finished up here, and I'll inform your man. But
Right, you are.
as far as I'm concerned, things should have no issues. Rate, fire, distance, and yield should be a little bit better now.
Okay. Excellent work. Thank you. So it'll just turn. Bernier, are you up on deck?
I've probably found somewhere out of the way to sit and kind of give Meglinair a bit of a brush.
Well, there's suddenly your view or your light dims as there's someone stood in front of you. Would you mind if I sit down?
Not at all. This is Meglinair, by the way.
That's nice. I used to have a parrot with me. Classic.
Right.
But they got shot, so, you know.
What can I do to help you?
Well, I just wanted to have a quick word about some of the potential dangers that are going to face us.
On the sea?
Yes, on the sea. Under the sea, mainly. Don't you stop.
It's either that or I say octopus in an octopus's garden, but
Nice.
In the shade, obviously.
Of course. Yes, I'm more Beatles than Little Mermaid, so I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the reason why we don't tend to sail out into the open waters is the extremely large creatures that live in the water. Occasionally see a leviathan. Best case scenario, if we see something, it's a merwhale. That is a mermaid, but it's half human, half whale. Enormous mermaid.
that is quite large, yes.
Yeah. They've been known to just stop and have a chat with some passers-by. They've also been known to sink some ships, so you never quite know what you're going to get with them. Intelligent creatures, so they all vary wildly.
Hopefully we can converse our way through
Well,
such an encounter.
I just warn you, really, that there are very large creatures.
I don't know. We are decently capable fighters. We have adventured together for varying amounts of time. So, if it is a fight that the situation calls for, then we will come to arms to assist.
Good, good. I was hoping you'd say that. We have cannons that people can fire. We've got the arcane cannon, of course, which your friend Kral is working on. We also carry depth charges, so if there's something directly underneath us, we can kind of try and bomb them out.
Yeah, you'd have to try and stop Sasha from fighting.
Because cannons can't point straight down. So we need... With the size of these creatures, you just need to throw them off the side of the ship, and they'll probably hit something. But I'm just kind of putting that out there, and I'm glad that you're up for a fight, if necessary. Anyway, we're going to continue heading south. We're going to go past Alos to the very tip of the country, and that's where we'll rest for the night. We'll stay still. We won't sail through the night. We'll weigh anchor there, and then tomorrow we will sprint straight for Hanumo.
It's good to know. Thank you very much for doing this for us, by the way.
Well, you've already paid, so... Right. I'll leave you to it. And he sort of half tentatively goes to... and then walks away from Meglina. Not quite sure on the tiny
I would
bit.
have been kind of like... yeah, perfectly fine too. But...
He was just a little unsure.
Pet the bear.
So the day continues. You can all kind of get reading done. You set sail at 12, so those of you who are just reading for the entire day, you could read for the entire day. The ship, as it was just...
I do want to.
Yawn.
So is that like 10 hours?
Yeah, just want to interrupt you to yawn at you.
Appreciate that. You got me back. Get you back.
I wanted to, whilst I'm sat, kind of like giving Meglin her scriptures, I just want to kind of say a prayer to Nagale for protection from both from the nature of the seas and protection and guidance once we arrive on Hanumo Island.
Okay. You sit and make your prayer, and the Gale typically sort of communicates with the atmosphere around you, let you know that the message has been received, and she's with you. Yes, 10 hours seems reasonable to get through your book if you're going to sit and go solidly at it.
I mean, if we're talking real life, I can so do that.
Yeah.
We've never seen Sasha sit still for so long.
Good.
When she wasn't passed out drunk.
I'll probably spend the first 2 hours on the cannon, make sure that's all up and running, and then I'd spend sort of another 5 to 6 on the gloves and start to sort of re-engineer the flow between the two.
Okay. We'll get to that in a sec, but Imarius, what are you doing?
I'll just be down in the hold, in the best hammock, just swinging, just chilling for the moment. I'm not going to go into the wing yet because I need to save that.
Definitely the best of the
Oh
seven.
yeah.
You'll be laughing at the others when they're trying to sleep later in their hammocks that are 1% worse than yours.
That's the plan.
Samuel, what are you getting up to?
Mostly just hovering on the ship, watching people work, idling. If any of the sailors are passing the time with games, I'll try and get in on some of that.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly. I don't have anything prepared to actually roleplay, but
No, that's fine.
When the ship's kind of sailing straight with the wind behind it, there's not a huge amount to do. So there are definitely people that can sit on a barrel and play some games or whatever. Whatever those folk do. And yeah, they're happy to get in on it with you. Kral, you can continue working on the gloves.
Before you do that, can I just say that before Thaddeus would sit down to read, he would just do a once-over of the ship. Just so he knows where rooms are and everything like that are. Wouldn't go into any rooms what weren't obviously their quarters or anything, but just so he had a layout in case there was something to happen, he would have that in his head where he would know to go to help people.
Noted. Absolutely. You've got a mental map of the ship.
Yep, and then we'd just find somewhere quiet and out of the way on the deck of the ship and read.
Just the perfect time to sneak in a South African accent there.
Yeah, perfect.
We're on a ship, you've got to, haven't you?
You're on the deck of a ship. Okay, so Kral, you were gonna go and work out. Make an Arcana check for me, please.
Dice is cheating, so yeah, hasn't rolled below a 16 so far, so I'm going to change dice. Arcana 20 total.
Okay. You sort of put the gloves on and almost go into, you hold L2 to go into
pull up a sub menu.
Yeah. To go into, yes, in investigator mode or arcane investigator mode.
Yeah.
To figure out, and as you tune in to the arcane flowings of stuff, words, good me, yes.
So I basically look at the skein of magic and the arcane connection and the flow of magic from one to the other.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Literally could not have done it.
Yeah. We noticed you trying.
Failing. Yes, exactly. You sit there and figure it out, and you kind of get to the bottom of exactly what needs to be done. And you were spending a good amount of time, so you could have figured that bit out. Just make effectively a spell attack roll. So your D20 plus intelligence plus proficiency.
Cool. So that will be plus 8 to that, so 18.
Can I, sorry, just before you do that, can I be assisting? Because I've looked at the canon and found that quite interesting, and now he's doing gloves, he's doing spells. So Mazdak would like to offer the help action to give you advantage, because Mazdak would look and see that, well, that spell shouldn't be moving past the other spell at that angle, because they will intersect and it will short the connection between the two.
Yeah. So I suppose it could have been sort of like Mazdak using aspects of his detect magic.
Yeah.
To
literally
look
to see where the spells are going across.
Yeah.
Absolutely. With Mazdak's help, roll a second time. See if it's any better than an 18.
Well, yeah, it's 17 on the dice to begin with, plus 8 is 25.
Okay. So you'd spent a little bit of time trying to work out exactly what's happened, and you've sort of just been talking it through, sort of half out loud to yourself and half to Mazdak, who's paying attention as well. And as you've sort of bounced those ideas off of Mazdak to figure out exactly what needs to be done, and then you've tried just to cast to form that connection between the two, and Mazdak's just gone actually just repositioned one of your hands or whatever it is. You just feel the two just bond and connect in a way that they just weren't there before. That just sort of pulses between them, and you can kind of feel an almost arcane tether between the two hands. You're not restricted in your movements, but you can feel that as it just moves around. And if you go and just produce a firebolt in the one hand, you can feel the flame just produce in the other one.
Yeah, and I'll sort of demonstrate the outcome of our sort of joint endeavour to Mazdak, and he'll just see the flame form in one hand, and then obviously he'll be able to see, but he'll see like a little zip of magic to the other glove.
That's
and
incredible.
In the
You
other
see
one.
the little arcane poof, across that link, and then it turns into whatever was in that one. That's very clever.
And it just sort of snuff out the. Well, I'd say they're more or less ready for whoever they're supposed to go to.
Indeed, they look amazing.
But it might short the gloves out if we try to use more than cantrips, but that should suffice. I mean, even in the most out.
I have some interesting cantrips I can try with them, if you needed a sort of demonstration.
Well, I think
trial run, as it were.
I mean, if you want to try them, you're quite welcome to them. I mean, I just took them because I was fixing them up because Amber told me that there had been something wrong with them, and she wasn't too far away from making them work. It was just that she needed that extra little bit of magical know-how that we possess.
Indeed. Well, and I'll just sort of put them on, and just because we're on the deck of the ship, obviously we're not below. I will just fire off. I'll do an Eldritch Blast, sort of, and see if they both come out at the same time. Up into the sky. I'm not targeting anything.
Yeah, that's weird. That's cool.
That is very cool. Well, how marvellous. And I'll take them back off and give them back to Krull. What an interesting thing.
Well, it seems that I've finished work, and well, like I said, they can go to whoever wants them. I mean, I can use them. You can use them. I mean, even probably Thaddeus and Marius can use them. So, I mean, it's up to you guys to decide who wants them. But my work's done. I've done what I set out to do. I'll fix them.
Indeed, you have. That's a number of things you fixed today. Very good.
Well, it's good. Thank you for your help. It's been
a pleasure. It's always interesting to learn new uses of magic that I hadn't seen before. And the cannon was most interesting. The use of magical runes to imbue an object used for projectiles was quite entertaining. That's not seen that one before. And of course, these gloves are just phenomenal. What a fantastic thing.
Well, between you and me, I've been working for a while on a concept for a miniature handheld version of that cannon.
Wow. That would be difficult. You'd have to inscribe the runes very delicately.
I haven't quite found the right mix of alloys which would be strong enough and a way to etch the runes small enough to
Some sort
maintain
of-
their potency.
Some sort of jeweler's tools, perhaps. They're known for the very, very small engraving. That could be good. Some sort of diamond tipped.
Kral's
Implement.
basically gonna pull a Mazdak, open his notebook, and start sort of furiously writing in his notebook, sort of making notes of jeweler's tools ? Materials on tip of tool ? And just various ideas, and start to sort of just go into that whole design process.
Yeah, absolutely. And whether even there are some very specialist bits of equipment that aren't like the tools, the jeweler's tools themselves, that you might need to actually make
Yeah.
first before you can.
Or have like a set of sort of focusing rings almost, and have like a almost like a magical laser etcher. And whether that would even be feasible. But it sort of kicked off, the whole conversation just kicked off a whole different sort of like insane design process.
Yeah.
What can I possibly do? And now he's got access to that sort of new dwarven metal that he's still got some of the armor left over. Could he potentially fabricate a sort of what would be, the equivalent of a hand mortar, which would then be able to be inscribed?
Kral's looking for a 3D printer.
Yeah. Okay. If that's actually something you're looking to sort of homebrew within game, then absolutely, I'm down. Cool. Just like send me your thoughts or something in a.
Yeah, it's going to be something along the same lines as the Eldritch Cannon that comes as a feature of the Artillerist.
Yeah.
It's going to be sort of a physical weapon form rather than being magical in nature. So
Yeah,
it's still
you're talking about some kind of his.
I see no ships. What's going on?
We're back.
We're back.
Back.
Oh yes.
What?
I get the I see no
Oh,
sh-
cadmium. I miss cadmium.
That was a very silly party.
Zunine, wasn't it? In cadmium.
Okay. Well, when we get back. Gengar! Is Gengar your favourite Pokemon by any chance?
Is
Given
that the
your-
one I got you?
Yeah.
I
There's
used
a
to have
theme.
it around here somewhere, but my child has snatched it. Anyway, so
to my enjoyment.
I think this is a good point to take a break. We're going to kind of sail on till 10 o'clock at night before we weigh anchor and rest for the night, and then we'll take our break there.
Okay.
And
We'll
yeah,
be right back after these messages. They're very important. You should definitely buy things. Buy all the things. And welcome back. We hope you had a lovely time buying all the things that you absolutely need. Theo?
So, you can all feel free to take another long rest should you need it if you've used any spells over the last day. At the crack of dawn, the anchor is raised. Hands are called to the deck, and the ship begins to move again, whether or not you are up. And Sasha is nose in book once again. How long have you got left on that, Sasha?
11 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, Thaddeus would be the same. Would grab a bite to eat and then not breakfast and then start reading again.
Yeah, I would eat and then set about attuning to my new hat.
Ah, your hat.
at some point today, Kral will find Mazdak, and obviously just make a couple of comments. I don't want to take too much of your time, but thank you for yesterday.
Oh, that's okay. Yep, no problem.
With everything that's been going on, and it really helped more than you realise.
Oh,
So-
okay. I'm always happy to learn about interesting uses of magic, and this is definitely a use that I've not come across yet, but now I have, and it's yes.
Yeah, well, Mazdak won't realise it because he's Mazdak, but
Yeah.
sort of the impact on Kral's mental health of simply fixing something and working through a problem with someone has had a massive impact.
Sure, Mazdak just did it because Mazdak is interested in lots of different things and uses of magic. So, and he's not really paid enough attention to Kral's forms of magic.
Yeah.
So he thinks that
He's not committing war crimes. He's
Oh, I'm
developing
aiding and
weapons
abetting
for it.
war crimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Aiding and abetting potential future war crimes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, so the obviously he's a little bit uncomfortable to begin with, but obviously he just thanks Mazdak and then he'll go and carry on working through his new plans and you know,
Okay.
just trying to work through the concept process of how he's going to build this miniaturized sort of cannon.
Indeed. So yeah, Mazdak will sit and be at one with his hat for a while, which is interesting. Means I can cast or potentially cast any cantrip I like.
Thaddeus
On the
would also
wizard list.
find Marius again.
It's a fun little hat. What I bought it.
Did I get that the gloves can make you cast cantrips twice?
So
The way it works mechanically is if you cast a cantrip, you can use a bonus action to cast it a second time using the other hand.
Yeah.
It does require a bonus action.
So Mazdak with the hat and the gloves could be quite interesting.
I don't. It depends on whether the gloves need attunement because I'm
They
all
do.
out of attunement slots.
yeah, the gloves need attunement.
Well, you know, if you want somebody to be able to cast light and then light again, I'm your girl.
Yeah, you're not getting them.
Yeah, no. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, man's like, you don't need your stuff, do you?
Absolutely, I need my staff. Take my fucking staff. It's almost as dear to me as my book
Almost.
and my cloak of wondrous things.
Incoming DM writing a conundrum for Mazdak where he has to choose between the staff and the book.
Oh, book.
That just needs to now become DM problems like of how high do I need to raise the stakes, or at least questions if you can give up the book.
So obviously, once he's had the conversation with Mazdak, and he'll sort of work through the problem, realise he's still got the gloves, take them and give them to Bernia to pass on to whoever she wants to give them to, and then go back to working on the problem.
Why have you?
Yeah, he's literally Carl's basically walked up to Bernia, handed her the illusionist braces, so basically informed her that they're fixed, and then walked away again. All the while, basically, with his sort of head in book writing notes, and with Kez pointing.
What are these, Kral?
Oh, I think I can help there. They are magical items that allow you to double up on a cantrip, as it were, a lower
Right.
powered spell, so you could cast it, in effect, cast it twice. But I believe the magic happens almost instantaneously. There's a small delay of nanoseconds that really, when the magic passes from one glove to the other, if you try them on, you can feel the
I
connection.
see.
And what happens is, Mazdak starts to ramble on about the magic.
So
and
why
how
have they been given to me?
I don't know. Because perhaps you should be deciding who gets to use them?
I see.
Oh, yes, we did have a conversation with the captain about leadership and who is the leader of the group. And we decided that there wasn't really one, but if there was one, then we'd make it to be you because you are more sensible and more suited for leadership than any of the rest of us,
Right.
depending on what we're doing. As obviously, if we're doing magical things, I would be in charge. And if we're doing hitting things very hard, we would put Sasha in charge. And, you know... those sorts of things. If we wanted to say explode a mountain, then somebody else might be in charge of that.
Right. So
Couldn't resist it.
you
sorry.
want me to make this decision?
Well, I mean, I don't think. I think we should just talk about all of the magic users in the party. Should be able to perhaps have a think about that and see if they do actually want them.
Well, despite us having magic, I suspect that myself and Salviel would not get much use out of these. If you say it is for
Right.
smaller spells, we
Yes,
are.
the
I
sort of
know that myself, I am not capable of them.
right. Okay,
It takes a lot of effort for my magic.
right.
Walking headlights, just saying.
The only person that shouldn't get it would be Sasha.
Well, Sasha, myself, and Salviel.
Oh no.
I wasn't quick enough. Dan's got a bright idea.
Oh, copper.
Ha, Shaman.
Right idea, as he just turned into a sim.
Oh, sorry. Paladins don't get cantrips.
Yes,
so it is
the-
between
it would be myself
yourself,
or
Kral,
Kral
Thaddeus,
or Thaddeus
and
or
Marius.
Amarius, yes. Would be the
It would probably be better to give it to either Mazdak or Imarius, as they're probably the ones who are most likely to use offensive magic, and this is more useful for offensive magic.
I see.
right, yes, very good point.
I did just roll a perception check to see if I could hear it,
Right.
and I most certainly probably could.
But I'm just treating this as a case of two of the kids want the toy.
Oh no, again.
Oh, that was,
Help,
that was
help again.
Bad.
Yeah.
Help
I
it
just-
again.
Double Eldritch Blast, pew pew.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we will have yourself and Amarius make your cases for it then.
Well, I mean, I don't mind if it's either of us really. I mean, Amarius has offensive magics, and so do I. So it could be either of us really.
Hang on. I'm gonna go fetch Amarius because he's probably lounging somewhere.
Do the really shitty parent thing and decide about giving them one glove each. It's absolutely useless and everybody's pissed off.
One
Genuinely
cuts the cake
considered.
and the other one chooses which slice.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Amarius,
Yes.
there is a discussion to be had involving you and Mazdak.
Do I have to be there?
Yes, it is about these gloves that Kral has been working on.
Okay.
I am told that they enhance magic, offensive magic, akin to the ones, types that yourself and Mazdak use.
I'm all about the offensive magic. I'm
Yes,
all
you
about
are
getting
very
stuck in
offensive.
and, you know.
Indeed. Amarius,
Yes.
if I entrust this to you, I would make you promise something.
Well, it depends what it is.
There's a promise that you will not abandon fights. I've seen you do it a couple of times.
Didn't abandon
This-
fights.
It is disappointing to see you back away from a fight that your allies are in. You did it with Chikoto. You...
No, I got knocked out of the ring.
I would not be surprised if that was an excuse.
We'll never know.
You have a tendency to run away from your problems, Amarius.
Yes, I'll promise, whatever. I'll just hold out my hand for them.
Do you have any objection to this, Mazdak?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Good.
Indeed. Then put them to good use. And I'm just going to slap them into his hand to kind of throw him off balance a little bit.
Yeah, I sort of stumble over, try, regain myself.
Use them well. We may have need of them. The captain has told me that there are large creatures in these oceans that we may have to fight off.
Oh, I wonder if we'd see... What are they called again? There's like...
You mentioned
I think there's
a mermaid the
yes,
size of a whale.
it's more like a giant mermaid, if you know what I mean. It's like if a giant and a fish. A really, really big fish.
Perhaps in Burvia they
Melded
have
together.
tiny mermaids.
Oh, I mean, they
My
could do
brain
it.
is trying to figure out the logistics for that. Sorry.
What are these gloves called?
They're called the
Illusionist braces.
so
Sorry, you both spoke.
illusionists braces. You potentially won't have them because I had to get Martin to assign them to me. So
Okay. No, I can't find them, so
They're a Ravnica item, I believe.
I only have the basic bitch books, so
Right.
You're not basic.
I really am.
Right. That's added to your equipment. Marius.
I'll delete them in mine.
And they need attunement, yeah.
Yes, they require
Okay,
a
so I won't use them immediately. Yep, there they are.
Well, if you wanted to spend an hour just sort of trying to...
Yeah, I'll just be casting, ignoring completely what Krell suggests today. I'll be doing, control flames and create bonfire, all the fire spells with both hands.
To be fair, as long as you do them sort of on the deck out into the sea, Carl
No.
doesn't give a shit. It's kind of just a case of don't do them below decks.
Whoops. Well, Bernier
Well-
came to me, so I'm down there, so
Well, you're getting teleported into the sea.
puts me out then.
Yeah, the ship's now on fire, but Marius is safe. Good work.
It's not my problem.
Is he safe though in the middle of an ocean which apparently has really big monsters and things?
I'll find a way. I always do.
If he disappears into his
Hey.
ring, of course.
He'll disappear into.
And then that gets eaten by a merwhale.
But when he comes out of the ring, he won't have the non-detection, so the great big fiery thing will find him anyway, and then he's
Tomorrow's problem.
Although that being said, maybe being at the bottom of the sea is the best possible protection from the big fiery monster thingies.
Yeah, he keeps trying to get me, he just keeps putting himself out.
I'm in that moment as a DM of I should get him to roll something. But hang on. Do I really want a TPK here? Is this could be the end of the campaign? It goes badly.
Or to roll
Let's
like a D100 and if I get a 1 or something.
just move on. It's all fine.
Yeah, Mazdak is going to watch Imarius playing with the gloves to see
Fire Warden.
if you get. No, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested to see how your magic works because you didn't learn it from books, and Mazdak is intrigued and wants to know
It's like-
more.
There's no effort, he's very laissez-faire and it's just appearing and no concentration, just innate, easy.
Okay. Is there anything weird or strange about Imarius's magic that's
It smells a bit like mushrooms in here, like cooking mushrooms.
okay? That's weird.
Or
Yeah.
burning moss.
In fact, Damaris, you kind of noticed that the fires that you're producing are less fiery than you're used to. That's the kind of reason why the ship hasn't gone up.
I guess it all worked
Previously,
out.
you were so very attuned to the nature of fire magic. Your biological essence, as well as the entity that gave you your power previously, was also ingratiated with fire itself, that it was so easy. Now when you try and cast fire, you produce the fire, but it's not as potent as it was.
Yeah,
Do I
but
notice this?
I can produce 2 lots.
But you can produce 2 lots.
I am now a
you-
Shroommancer.
You may deduce, it's up to you, and tell me if you want to roll, but maybe actually doing it twice is sort of halving the efficiency.
Ooh. Yeah, we'll
Whether
roll.
or not that's true, don't know, but you may assume that.
I rolled a 2 plus whatever, so I probably haven't made that leap yet.
So is his connection to fire sort of less sort of elemental, instinctive, and more actually the sort of more scholar's detachment of arcane magic?
I've gone back to being basic fire.
Yeah, can I notice a difference between Imarius's fire from now as from before?
I mean, I didn't cast a lot of fire before.
Yeah. Make an intelligence check, but
Intelligence check.
there's a high DC on this because, Amaris is not the sort that has just cast fire spells
Nope.
left, right, and centre.
Natural one.
Seems perfectly normal.
Yes, they do work quite well, don't they, Amarius? They're sort of interesting. Do you feel the tether between them? The magic just zips along really, really quickly, just nanoseconds into it. When you cast the first one, the second one casts, and it's very difficult to tell them apart with the time difference. It's so very fast.
I will cast minor illusion in each hand and have 2 little Mazdaks in each hand.
That's very good.
And the mouths are both doing this.
So, as you can tell, the synchronization is so good, it's so fine a detail, that the illusions look to be almost at the same time, but there's a small delay.
And then control flames where the illusions were, so it looks like he's burning in my hands, and I'm just smiling at.
Mastak is just still going on
Yeah.
about the delay of the spell and what produces.
Don't you have somewhere you need to be?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
I heard Thaddeus was looking for you.
Is he? Oh,
He said
that's
something
nice.
about he found a book.
Did he now? That's interesting. Well, you keep playing with those gloves. I'm sure you'll get the hang of them eventually. And I'll just disappear off to find Thaddeus and his book.
Thaddeus is sat there reading.
Ah, Thaddeus.
It's the same book he was reading all yesterday, though.
Sorry to interrupt. Imarius said that you were looking for me. You had a book that you...
I haven't seen a Marius today.
Right. Oh, I see.
I'm
Okay.
still reading this giant
So,
dialect.
right. No, sorry. Please go back to your studies. I will deal with Amarius later.
No problem. If you need any help, count me in.
Okay. I will message in Imarius's head. I'm going to cast message. Oh, so lying to me about books now. How very low. What a low blow.
Can I reply?
You can if you want to.
I just say, whoopsie.
I will go back down to the cabin,
Oh,
look at Amarius, and over and over in your brain, you will see not an illusion, but you get the concept of Mazdak speaking. Mazdak wants to explain to you about the nature of magic.
I go onto the deck and I throw myself off the ship.
I teleport you back onto the ship.
Yeah,
I will stay
just like
within
psych. What's it called? That
psychic damage. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I will stay within 30 feet of you all day and do this.
Oh fuck this! I'm disappearing into the ring.
Well, you certainly disappear. No sign of a ring, though.
Does it sting though?
Depends on what I had last night.
So, shenanigans is going on
Yeah, as usual.
as usual. Anyone who's up on deck may notice that the crew are pretty quiet. They're all working hard. The ship is going full tilt as fast as this particular vessel can go. But the crew themselves, there was a little bit of singing yesterday as people were going about their jobs. Typical sort of rhythmic things to keep people working in time and whatnot. But it's there, but it's all a little bit more quieter. It's more about actually keeping that rhythm going, making sure everyone's working in time. But there's not the joy behind it. It's all a bit sort of anxious. For the first sort of few hours of the day. Saviel, can you make a quick faith check for me, please?
Uh-oh.
Based on past experience, no.
Uh-oh.
That was almost a natural one, but it turned out to be a 14.
Okay.
Fate might be on your side then.
Yeah, right.
You feel uneasy about something. There's no direct line, but Leosol's trying to warn you about something, and you just get like that sort of anxiety feeling of something's coming.
I will approach Bernia.
Hmm.
And a couple of others probably, and just... I don't know what it is, but something's coming.
Could warn the captain. I'll make my way. No, find the captain.
Yeah,
If he's not busy.
Yeah, you can.
I'll also go find Kral and the reading circle and warn them.
Captain, one of my compatriots is a follower of Leosol. She thinks that there may be something coming. Be on alert.
To know, thank you. And he signals up to the crow's nest to keep an eye below the ship.
Yeah. As soon as we get the warning, Kral will come up on deck and immediately move to the cannon and ensure that it's ready. And, well, primed for immediate firing should we need it.
And it's barely a moment, but it feels like longer. That just sort of suspended sense of, is something going to happen? But the voice comes from the crow's nest, something below. And anyone who looks over the side of the ship can see just this enormous silhouette underneath the ship, following along, matching its speed. As you continue to sail at full pace.
Coming speed.
Did I manage to get any outs on my book?
It's about 11 o'clock now, so 3 or 4 hours. I don't know what time you were up.
I'll take 3. Because, getting
Um,
up, getting ready, having something to eat.
Maths. There you go. Plus. I've been doing
8
this
to
now.
go.
Okay, I'm gonna looking down in the water. What is it that we see, or is it just literally
Moment.
huge silhouette?
It's just a big shape.
I'm
I'm a
gonna
Mazdak worth of hours through my book.
I'm gonna cast false life on myself.
Okay.
Nice. It's for some temporary
I
hit
think-
points.
I'm gonna cast. I'm going to cast, if I can find the spell, there it is again. I'm going to cast Aid on Mazdak, Amarius, and
I'm
who
not
out
there.
of Kral?
Amarius
Who out of
isn't here.
Kral?
I'm
Okay,
in the ring.
Mazdak, Kral, and Thaddeus then. Which
Space
increases
formerly
your
known as a ring.
increases your hit point maximum and current hit points by 5 for 8 hours.
Put my book away, draw my sword, and be
Cool.
skulking around the top of the deck, looking over the edges on either side.
I do like the fact
I-
that you gave me these gloves, like with the proviso, don't retreat from battle. We've gone straight into a fight, and I'm not there.
I would find
You
Mazdak.
can certainly hear what's going
Yeah, I
on.
know.
I would find Mazdak. And be Mazdak. With the money that people have lent me, I bought 2 of these. If they're to do with the spell. If you put one on, I can help you with being hit less and taking less damage.
Okay. I don't generally get hit, but that would be nice.
It's a great spell.
Just
that
in
one.
case. Yes. And so
Warding bond.
as we both slip the rings on, warding bond.
My
I won't finish my own spell.
My artificer has that spell. She has this little panel of little rings with individual letters engraved on them that she can reach down and just press to activate.
Sorry, what does
So-
it do?
So
Warding bond?
while you are within 60 feet of me, with this going, it lasts for an hour. You gain +1 to your AC and saving throws.
Nice.
Basically, you have resistant to all damage.
Wow. Okay.
Eyeless is
The only
used on
downside is that I
things.
take the same amount of damage you do. But
Okay.
needless
Well,
to
it might be
say-
a lot.
but
Damage.
it will have- yeah,
Take half the damage because
Yeah.
he takes the other half.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Does that mean if he gets hit for 30 and he's resistant to everything, that means he takes 15 and then he only takes half of that?
No.
Just-
So basically, it just says also each time it takes damage, you
So-
take the same amount of damage.
Yeah, so Eyeless has used it on the captain a couple of times. So essentially, what happens is any damage that Mazdak takes, half of it, as long as Thaddeus is within 60 feet, half of that goes to Thaddeus. So really, he will basically he's essentially resistant to everything, but
Yeah.
so he'll take half damage.
So the
So if
full
he
amount
takes
of
30
damage still
then
goes out.
15 to Mazdak,
Yeah.
15 to Thaddeus.
Also, I've also inflated the value of a Mazdak by casting Aid on him.
Indeed.
It's gone up to like
Listen.
22.
I'm almost at a double a Mazdak because I've got the aid
False life
plus
as well.
I've got false life. I've got 7 points from my false life, so I'm at
Nice.
29 currently.
That's almost a respectable amount of health for the level we're at.
29 plus taking half damage.
I am swole.
Yes.
Once I finish this book, I will gain half a Mazdak.
That's nice. Nobody cares about your hit points.
I mean,
She's
with,
got plenty.
with your
Exactly.
half
Spend them
damage
freely.
on 58 hit points.
Oh, yeah. When you look at it like that.
Yep.
Until a DM rolls 34 or whatever it is now.
So, as the warning initially comes from Salviel to to think about looking out, and then suddenly the crow's nest cools down that there's something beneath. You all sort of scramble to get off spells, and Kral gets to the cannon. Sasha gets to the side of the ship looking over, and Marius is getting the little fluff from under his fingernails.
Bear in mind
This-
the promise that Bernier extracted from him. Does he take any action?
I'm thinking about joining.
It depends on how much of a weasel he wants to be.
I mean, this
Because
is
the
very
promise that he
recent.
wouldn't retreat before combat. But the thing is, sorry, wouldn't retreat in combat. But the thing is, he retreated before combat. So
Yeah, he's probably weighing up the semantics of what the deal was.
yeah,
You're about to learn that Bernier doesn't care much for semantics.
Well, he also needs to consider the fact that Krall's fixed the gloves, so could Krall just turn the gloves off on him without him knowing?
God, Martin,
And Sasha
sorry.
might just yeet you into the ocean.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He doesn't know that.
So this shape below begins to rise, and you can see, if you're looking over the edge,
Absolutely.
a big tail just moving up and down at the back of the ship.
How far away is this tail at the back of the ship from it?
The entire creature is about the length of the ship, and it's directly underneath you.
Okay.
Is it just keeping us company, or is this what it does before it attacks?
Well, it's as the captain sort of responds, Captain Hat. It looks like it's a Morwell, but it's tough to say. Some of them attack, some stop for a chat. There's no way to know. And he sort of calls out to everyone, nobody fire until I give the order.
Mazdak.
Because if we
Sorry,
go ahead. Because if we attack first, we're probably losing that fight.
Mazdak's
best
leaning
bet.
over the rail. Is it within 30 feet of me?
Tough
too
to
far?
say with it underwater.
Okay.
Maybe just about.
I'm going to sort of send an image because I've got limited telepathy, so I can sort of send concepts and ideas. So I'm just going to send the idea of Mazdak at it and say, "Hi." Yeah, it's sort of like small creature loves to learn and wants to talk.
The concept of Mazdak is the most terrifying thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
The
probably.
concepts
Yeah.
of Mazdak.
Just to see if anything happens.
In this 30-part documentary,
So you're just going off of your words. The 3 points you made there. Mazdak loves to learn, wants to talk.
Yeah.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Make a persuasion check. Okay. Let's do persuasion. Where am I?
We call it just a natural sort of charisma check, but we might as well
Yeah, persuasion check's fine.
give
for me.
you efficiency as well.
25.
Oh,
I'm good at persuasion.
There's the time to roll a natural 19.
Yep.
And can they respond to that?
No, not really. It's kind of it just sort of thinks. It was like what I was doing. It's exactly what I was doing to Marius earlier. So just putting ideas and concepts across, and sort of asking it if it wants to have a little chat. You know.
Okay, so whether or not people have noticed Mazdak doing anything, probably not, because it was all sort of
It's
mental
all
stuff.
telepathic. So
Anyone looking over the side of the ship suddenly sees this shape, this silhouette, just go down, just disappear below,
oh
so you can no longer see the shape.
well.
Off to the port side. Wait,
camera flipped. Port side. I know my port and starboard. Don't worry. It's that way for you. That way for me. I've been in a naval campaign long enough.
I still don't remember an IDM that campaign.
So off to the port side, the left-hand side, as you face in the front of the ship, this thing just breaches through the water and just leaps up, and you can see the human features of this thing as it just comes out of the water before splashing back down, and then rises up slowly, and he's now swimming on the surface next to the ship, a good 30 feet away, as to try not to affect the ship too much with the waves caused by swimming at the surface. And there's a bit of a call and a panic from all of the crew, like nobody knows what's going on here, what's going to happen, whether this creature is preparing to attack. The captain says something about this should be good. If they attack, they usually do it from below. So the captain's trying to reassure, but this merwhale on the side, people waving, he's now just sort of swimming, half like head out of the water. And then you hear this voice coming from the creature. And it is not deep and booming like you'd expect from something of such a size. It is light and lyrical in the way that it speaks. And they just say, "Please slow. I wish to talk to you."
Hi, I'm Mesdak.
Yeah.
As the captain immediately responds positively to the wish to talk, orders the crew to drop sail and to slow the ship down. And as the ship comes to a stop and the merwhale slows down and she swims up to the side, and most of her body is iceberg style, most of the body is under the water, but her head is just out. But she still gets to look
The
over.
water level is just at the tasteful height.
Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Don't mind me saying so. You are magnificent.
Thank you. I need your help. If you can give it.
I
What's
think
wrong?
What is it you need?
What do you need?
There is a creature that has taken my young.
What kind of creature?
It is not seen in these waters, but it appeared a week or so ago.
Where are they being held?
Slightly to the south of here.
Back from where we came. And this is me asking.
You've been heading basically west to east, slightly south.
Could we have more detailed, paragraphs of
Paragraphs, yes.
instructions?
How far south? Where exactly are we supposed to be looking?
If you can help, I can take you.
Look to the captain.
Will, as he sort of steps up and looks this enormous face in the eyes. What can we help with that you can't do? And what do we get for it? And she says, I have tried to fight the creature, but it is too aggressive. You may have some luck if you are willing.
How big is this thing? Is it smaller than you? Is that why you're having so much trouble?
It is similar size to me. But we Moels do not fight like this in the sea. I even made that one rhyme.
And is this creature under the water like you? Because we generally have trouble being there for long.
It is somewhere near the surface.
Is it near an island of some sort, or is it in the middle of the sea?
It's in the sea.
In an octopus's garden.
In the shape.
How far south are we?
It is but a few miles. It shouldn't take long.
Captain?
There.
I will go
If
here
I
for
think
you
we
to
can
this
make-
down there.
Wow.
Well,
Everybody's
wait,
back at once.
one at a time. Bernia.
Thank you.
Zabio.
So Bernie, go ahead.
Just to say, would be good to aid his mother in retrieving her children.
If you can get back my child, then I can give you safe passage.
Oh, what do you say, Captain?
Hurt to make a friend under the ocean.
It certainly wouldn't hurt to make a friend out here, no. If you guys are up for a fight, then I'm for it.
Well,
I'm always ready to fight.
I might be able to help with scouting ahead as well, though. And you'll just see sort of Crawl pull the hawk down off his shoulder. Well, kid, it's going to be your first outing as being useful. Off you go. And basically chuck the hawk out and sort of send him 100 feet ahead of the ship.
Okay,
Captain, I'm always ready for a fight.
good.
How long will it take us to get there, Fair Maiden?
Each
A few miles, I don't think
can
it would be that.
respond. Well,
I'm looking at the.
if it's only a few miles, it won't take long.
Okay, so what I will do then is I will instantly go to the center of the deck and be like, all of us stand near me, and Captain, yourself and 2 other people, and I would like to ritually cast Water Walk on 10 of us.
Nice.
Cool.
That's the kind of orienting. While sat in the seat near the cannon, and he's kind of like just gone blind and deaf, and he's sort of his eyes are in. He's familiar.
How loud is the whale? Would I be able to hear it?
You'd be able to hit.
Okay. I would come out of the ring and show willing and stand by Klein. Not Klein. Fiddy.
Thaddeus.
Thaddeus.
Got there eventually.
Okay.
New boat, who did?
It's late. We're on a boat.
I
So-
will accept the summon of Science Rhino.
Earlier, Sultan, I go speak to the captain. I was looking at Martin, and Martin didn't say anything. I was like, oh, yeah.
Well, I am.
Well, he is the captain, but yeah.
So yes, it would obviously ritually it would take 11 minutes for me to cast. So I do it on myself, Sasha, Salvial, Mazdak, Bernia, and Marius. Kral, if you wanted it. I know I'd explain to everybody what this would do before I did it.
Cool.
Okay.
And then obviously
How long does that last?
it lasts for an hour. Hence why I asked how long it would take to get there. And then the captain of the ship would also get it if he wanted it, and 2 other crew members who he thought would be useful with it as well.
Okay, fair enough. I wasn't going to input crew into that
Yeah,
sort of situation, but okay. That's good to know.
Reasons of roleplay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yes, the Merwow just goes back in, swims off to your starboard side, heading south, waits sort of for the ship to turn into position and follow. The Kral's familiar? Does it have a name?
Not that he's told people, but it's a hawk at the moment.
It's a hawk. Okay.
Hawkeye.
Hawk Kral. Hawk Kral?
I mean,
Hawk.
that's a no. I wouldn't. No.
Well,
His name is It's a Hawk.
the capital of his homeland is Libido.
Okay, then I retract my earlier statement.
Hawk.
Well, if
So-
everybody wants to know what his name is, it's Scaflock, and I'll spell that in the chat.
I was going to suggest Hudson the Hawk.
Stephen.
So the ship turns and begins to follow the whale, the Mer whale. And it's not long before Scavlock, was it?
Scaflock.
Lock. Well, I suppose if you're in familiar
Yeah.
vision, you're seeing it. So, Kral, you spot this disturbance in the water. There seems to be a young mer whale.
Mhm.
Tough to say on age, but there is something much bigger than it, similar size to the mer whale, that is just sort of toying with it. Just trying to keep it underwater. If you've seen Orca do horrific things, this is basically what is going on.
What does this thing look like?
Kral would be able to report.
Yeah.
He's
So-
very turtle shaped.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Someone knows.
Someone knows.
Ruh-roh.
I run an aquatic, a naval campaign, so there's a solid chance I know what you've done here, and I'm scared.
Yeah. Dragon turtle by any chance?
I was going to say, is it dragonish?
I am oathbound not to say. The way of a DM.
For those that know, they know. For those that don't, we'll wait till next week.
I was just prepping something, but I will wait. Cool. Oh, that was good. Okay, cool.
Yes.
We will indeed. Yes, well, thank you very much, Martin. It was enjoyable, good fun this evening. We almost descended into, the other campaign for a bit there.
Wrong accents.
Yeah, wrong accents, names, innuendo, all that sort of stuff. That's normally reserved for a Tuesday.
I don't
But-
reserve it for any day of the week.
Oh, I like to get my reservations in. Makes things a lot easier. Anyway, we of course will be back here on Tuesday for innuendos, the correct names, hopefully, but on a different boat. Well, boats. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a bit of a fight happening.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. And of course, we'll be back here again next Sunday for whatever this turns out to be. Some sort of large turtle. Will it be friends? Probably. Mazdak will just try and talk to it. So,
U-R-T-L-E power.
yeah, exactly. So, don't see what could go wrong. So, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed what we did, we thank you. We think you're brilliant. We really like you. We mean that from, I was going to say the bottom of our hearts, but some of us don't have a heart. Mainly DMs. But, gloss over that.
That's
If
like
you
half the
did-
party.
If you didn't like it, well, I mean, what were you watching for a start? And, well, off you fuck. Goodbye.